Hello and welcome to PHOTOPLAY PAPER. I'm Amy Sonneman and today I get to share with you the Build an Album and the Build an Album Accessory Pack in the Maker series. This kit makes one 6x6 hinged album with 6 pockets, and the Accessory Pack allows you to create flips and folds and tags as well as extra pockets if you choose. So today I'm excited to share the Build an Album designed by Joey Otlow and kind of give you a walkthrough of each of the steps to make it easy and fun to create. Let's get started. Before we get started, I want to go ahead and kind of do a little housekeeping first and let you know the things you're going to need for this video. The first thing you're going to need is a pencil, a pair of scissors that is non-stick so that when you cut your adhesive you don't gunk up your scissors, some sort of a pick or poking tool to kind of help you get the release paper off of your adhesive, a bone folder if you're new to scrapbooking and mini album making. If you don't have a bone folder, you can always use the rounded edge of a spoon, so that helps too. The next thing you're going to need is really good adhesive. And for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to use the red line tape, mostly because one, it's strong, but two, so you can see it as I put it down. But I also use the score tape or tissue tape that's on the market as well. That works beautifully too. You just want something really sturdy and strong. A tape runner is just not going to cut it for opening and closing of pockets and pages and so forth. So pick something that's nice and strong. Again, I'll be using the red line tape. It's super strong, it works great, but you will be able to see it as I lay it down. So you know exactly where I put each of my pieces of tape to make things just a little bit easier. So now that we've got the housekeeping out of the way, I'm going to show you everything that comes in the kit. When you open the kit, you're going to get 6 6x6 pages. So these are going to be the pages that you're going to load into your album. So there's 6 of those. The next piece I want to show you is this super long piece. It's the longest piece in the kit, and it has a ton of score lines. This is going to be the base of the album that you're going to flip. There's lots of score lines. I'm going to show you exactly how to score it so that it takes all of the guesswork out of it. You have your cover, which has 2 score lines in the middle. This is the base of your album, the front and back cover. You have a 6x6 piece of paper that's scored on all 4 sides. That will make 2 of your diagonal pockets. You have a smaller piece of white, and then you have this long thin piece with score lines as well. This will be your hinge, and this will be your closure. So at the very, very end, this is going to close your book after you're done decorating and you're ready for the closure. We're going to set all of the pieces aside, and I want you to turn your packaging over. This is where all of your instructions are going to be. So steps 1 through 7 are on the back side of the cover page, and then the rest of the steps are on this smaller piece. So set your instructions aside. First, we're going to locate the cover. It measures 14.5 by 6.375 inches. It has 2 score lines in the middle. You're going to lay it open on your work surface, and you're going to score both lines by folding up. So if you run your hand across the bumps, you should feel the bumps. This is kind of the mountain. You're going to fold into the mountain. So let's go ahead and do that. You're going to take your bone folder. I'm just going to line it up. See, when you first fold it, it might not be exactly square. So I'm just going to fold it so that it is exactly square. It's where I want it. And I'm just going to go ahead and rub my bone folder over the score lines. I'm going to do the same with the other piece. Fold it into itself and score. This will be the cover of your album. We're going to set that aside for now. We don't need that right away. The next piece we're going to start with is this long piece of paper with all of the score lines. So we want to lay it face up, and as you rub your hands across the score lines, you should feel the bumps. So you're going to feel the mountains across the score line. So when you have that up, you're going to grab your pencil, and I want you to make a few marks. And when you look at it, we're going to start from the left-hand side, and you're going to feel that first score line, and you're going to go to the right of that score line and just make a little mark. Okay? You're going to go 1, 2, 3 score lines and make another mark. So you're going to place that second mark on the right side of the thin score lines. And I don't know if you can see that in the light. Again, you're going to score it to the right of that first score line on the left. You're going to count over 1, 2, 3 score lines, place another mark, and do that again. 1, 2, 3, place a mark. 1, 2, 3, place a mark. 1, 2, 3, place a mark. 1, 2, 3, and place your last mark. And if you hang with me for a little bit, I'll show you exactly why we did that and what it's going to look like when we're done. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our adhesive. Okay, so where you put those marks, that's where we're going to place our adhesive. I find it easier to work this way so I can see it really well. And you're just going to place your adhesive right over that little piece of pencil. I leave myself a little bit on either end. And then you're going to have 1, 2, 3 score lines, and then you're going to put your next piece of tape. One, two, 3 score lines, and then tape. I place my tape just a teeny bit above where you're going to fold that score line, just so the tape doesn't get stuck when you fold it. Again, we're going to count 3 more score lines. 1, 2, 3, tape. Three more score lines, 1, 2, 3, and tape. Now, if by chance, because we all do it at least once in our crafting career, if by chance you get this super strong tape in the wrong spot, take some undo. Just use undo to get rid of the piece of tape that's in the wrong spot, let it dry, and go ahead and add tape in the spot that you want it. If you try to pull that up, it's going to ruin your project. So make sure that if you do put it in the wrong spot, don't just try and tear it up. Go ahead and use undo. It will save you so much grief in the end. Okay, we're going to count the last one, 3 score lines, and our last piece of adhesive. Okay, we're going to rub all of those down so they're nice and tight. Now that we have the adhesive over all of the pencil lines, we're going to flip it over and turn it towards us. Because it's always easier to work towards you than away from you. You can see things so much more clearly. So you have that first score line. That's going to be folded this way. Okay, that's your cover. The second, this score line right here, you're going to pinch upward like so and fold it flat. You're going to skip that next score line and go to that third score line. Remember we were counting 1, 2, 3? This is the third score line, and you're going to take and fold your whole project over that third score line. Okay. And then you're going to have your second fold. You're going to skip one and you're going to fold this piece over, the next one back. You're going to skip one, you're going to fold it over, and then that long fold back. Skip one, long fold back. Okay, same thing. We're going to skip one. We're going to pinch. You can also pinch it this way and do this. Okay, so if you did it correctly, it will look like this when you're done. When you flip it over, it'll look like this. Okay, so none of your adhesive is going to show. Your adhesive is on the inside like this. Okay, so we still have one more set of score lines to fold. So we're going to, when we flip it over, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're just going to pinch that last score line, fold it, pinch the last score line, fold it towards you, like so. And then like that. So when you open it up, this is going to be the base of your pages. It's going to create that spine. So your spine will look like this. The inside will look like this. And that's where you will adhere your pages. So next we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove the tape and glue each of the pages together and make our accordion. We're just going to fold one on top of the other. One on top of the other. One on top of the other. You keep doing that until you're finished with the whole accordion binding. So every place where you had adhesive and your pencil mark, all of those pieces are covered up now. That's now your hinged binding. When you close it, it'll look like that. If you flip it over, it's going to look like this. And each one of these pieces is going to be a page. Once you do that, it's ready to adhere to your cover. The next step, we have all of our tape on the inside where the hinge will be placed. We have our little folds here. Next, we're going to go ahead and add our adhesive to this piece with the folds. We're going to flip it over. It's going to look like this. And you're going to go ahead and put adhesive around all 4 of the flat sides, not the binding. So let's go ahead and do that. Once you put your adhesive down, it's going to look like this. The folded spine is here. You just want the 2 outside larger flaps secure. I like to kind of line it up before I take any adhesive off. So I'm just going to flip this over and put it on top of the inside of the cover. I just want to see how it's going to fit. I want to make sure that my center pieces are lined left to right, top to bottom, so that there's enough overlap here so that it doesn't show or stick out at the top or the bottom. So I've got a little bit of room at the top, a little room at the bottom, and equal room on the left and the right. Once I get it where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and just tape the one side in place so it can't move. I just use a little bit of removable tape. It doesn't hurt anything, it's not going to tear your paper. It just gives me a little more peace of mind. Once I got it where I wanted and it's taped down, I removed the backing to my adhesive. I'm going to double check it one more time to make sure it did not move. It looks good. Then I'm going to just take and I'm going to roll one piece down at a time. I'm just going to press on that valley to make sure it's nice and adhered. Alright, I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to give it a good rub in between each of those creases. It's going to make sure that it sticks really securely. We removed our tape. Now we're just going to kind of bend those upward. And then we're going to go ahead and remove the tape on one of the sides. It can either be the left or the right. And then secure your edges. You roll that second side down, giving it a nice secure rub. And when you're finished, your cover will look like this. Your spine will look like this. And each piece you see here will be an individual page, so you'll have 6 pages in all. Next, I want to have you get out the pages that are 6 by 12 inches. They're scored down the center. There should be 6 of them. So grab those 6 pages. We're going to take each page and we're going to score it into the mountain fold. So when you feel that score line, you're going to feel the mountain. You'll be folding into the mountain. Make sure they're lined up on the corners. Take your bone folder and give it a nice crease and set that aside. You're going to do that for all 6 pages. Now that you have all of your pages scored, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to adhere those to make these 6 pages, which include a pocket at the top. So grab your strong adhesive and we'll go ahead and do that. So we're going to lay it down open like this. Okay. You're going to take your adhesive and we're only going to put adhesive on the left side here, the bottom here, just on the right bottom, and then on the side right. So both sides here, and then the right side only on the bottom. The top will stay totally open, and that's going to be a place where you can add tags, pictures. That will be your pocket. Go ahead and add your adhesive to all 6 pages. When your page is completed, you'll have adhesive here, here, and here. And you'll have 6 pages that look exactly like that. We're going to bring in our cover, we're going to bring in our first page, and we're going to start from the right side or the back end of the book, and we're going to push this page right up against where the bottom of this flap is. So it's going to bump up right against that. Once you've got it even, you're going to open it back up, lay it flat, make sure you have a good hold on it while you take your adhesive off. Double check that it's bumped up against there and it's matching the top and the bottom here as well of your little spine. And then you're just going to roll that. Then you're going to adhere the other side. It's going to look like this. Okay, this will be open. This will be closed. And this will be closed. So we're going to go ahead and take the tape off. I gently roll it to make sure it goes on nice and smooth. And then I roll it onto that spine, keeping the other spines out of the way. So when I'm finished, I will have a page that looks like this that's open on the top. We're going to lay that flat. We'll go ahead and do that for each of the individual spines. Same thing, we start with this. We line up the pages on top of each other to make sure they're nice and straight and even. When I'm happy with that, I take the adhesive off. Give it one more quick look to make sure it's even, left to right, top to bottom. When I'm happy with it, I'm going to roll that spine on the adhesive, like so. We're going to make our second pocket. We're going to remove our adhesive and glue it in place. Once we remove our adhesive backing, we'll go ahead and glue it in place. I'm going to start from this side. I'm going to roll it in. I'm going to move my other spine out of the way. I'm going to give that a good rub. And now I have two pages. Again, with the pocket at the top. Let's go ahead and do that for all 6 pages and then we'll meet up at the end. When you've completed all of your pages, they'll look like this. You'll have 6 inside pages, each with a pocket at the top. Lots of room for photos, journaling, tags, tickets, ephemera, and so much more. The next piece I want you to pull out is a 6x6 square that is scored on 4 sides. So you're going to make this into your diagonal pockets. So I'm going to grab my trimmer, trim this from end to end diagonally. I just line it up at the points. And you now have 2 pieces for the pockets, for the inside cover and the back cover. We're going to take each of those pieces at the corner right here at the 90-degree angle, and you're just going to cut that angle off on both pieces. Doesn't matter if it's pretty or square or even on both sides, you're not going to see that. We're going to turn them so the mountain score line is up, and we're going to fold into that mountain score on both sides. So when you fold into the mountain score on both sides, it'll look like this. Go ahead and do both of those. I do take my bone folder and just give it a nice crease. It just lays flatter and smoother if you do that. And this will be your diagonal pocket. As you notice, there's a little bit of extra here and here. Just trim those off with your scissors. Now you have your 2 diagonal pockets ready for adhesive. We're going to add adhesive on the little flaps here and here. Go ahead and do that. Now that we have adhesive on our pockets, we're going to go ahead and just kind of align your pocket pieces on the left corner of the front cover. So here's your front cover. We're going to put it on this side. And I'm just going to take off a little piece of my adhesive to get it started. I'm going to line it up. When I'm happy with how it looks, I'm going to just push where that opening is for my adhesive, and then I'm going to tear off the other piece of adhesive. When I've finished with that, we'll adhere the second side. So now you have your front pocket. Next we're going to add the back pocket. So this pocket will go right here. We're going to do the same thing. Just going to get it started. Line it up how we would like it. Once you're happy with it, I'm going to push right there and take off that piece. It's easier to get the right side adhered first and then do the bottom. So now you have a front pocket, 6 pocket pages, and then a back pocket. Now's the fun part. You get to decorate it however you want. If you notice, you have 2 pieces left in the original kit. One is this rectangle, and then there's this long strip that has lots of different score lines. You're going to lay this piece with the score lines facing up. So your mountain score is going to face up and you're going to feel the ridges. You're going to add tape only here. Okay. Then you're going to take this piece and you're not going to fold, our instinct is to score those. You don't want to score those. All you want is a gentle roll. So just take your finger and kind of gently roll. I don't want it to be scored or folded. I just want to roll. What this piece will do is create your closure. When I add my adhesive, it's going to look like this. So basically this is going to glue to the back. So when you line it up, you're going to push the first score line to the back of the album. So it will be adhered on the back side. I'm going to center it top to bottom, left to right, making sure that it's straight, like this, and then I'm just going to adhere it like that. Okay, I'm not going to do that at this time. I'm going to wait and decide what I want to do with the album. And if I want to hide that piece or if I want to decorate that piece as a totally separate entity, I'm not sure yet. But that's how you would attach this piece. You can do a couple different things for closures on the front. You could easily add 2 magnets. You could easily add hook and loop closures. The other option, and that's where this piece would come in if you choose to use it, is you would add adhesive to 3 sides. So here, here, and here. You would center it however you'd like, decorate it, double, triple matte, whatever you like to do. Add ephemera, put your title. This side is going to be open. So this can now be your closure, and it would slide underneath that piece once it's adhered down. So it's strictly up to you as to how you want to close your mini album, but this is a great way to be able to do that. I put that on last because I don't know how thick my album is going to be. And maybe I want a Velcro. Maybe I want a magnet. Maybe I decide I want this little tucked piece. But I want to know how thick my album is before I add that last closure. Now that you have your album finished, now comes the fun part, and having the creativity to be able to decorate it in any form or fashion you'd like. We have created an accessory pack that allows you to add even more pages and more elements to the build-in album. And let me show you those. Inside the accessory pack, you're going to find 4 different pieces that you can customize your build-in album. You're going to find pieces that you can create pockets with. There are tags to put inside of those open pockets that we created in the album. There are flaps as well as waterfalls. So let's look at each of those. When you open up your packaging, you'll notice that you have all of the dimensions and directions to be able to customize your album. The first thing in the accessory pack are 6 tags. They measure 4 by 6.5, and you can use them to die cut tags. You can create your own custom tags. The sky's the limit. It's all about what your creativity can come up with. As I was being creative, I decided to use the number 9 slim card size etched metal dies, which are borders. So it comes with all of these fun borders, and I cut my own tag at the top, and then I used the borders to cut fun edges. A great scalloped one, this little tiny scallop. I used my Tim Holtz decal edge trimmer to create this one. Another scalloped border, this fun little wonky border. And then I did some that just had a rounded corner. So lots of ideas, lots of fun things you can do with your tags. Be creative and dig into your stash. Maybe you have some great borders that you can use to create fun edges like this. The next piece in your accessories kit are the waterfalls, and you will have 5 waterfalls. They measure 3.5 by 4 3/4, and you will fold them down, adhere them to any of your pages. You can use 2 or 3 or all 5. You can, make as many waterfalls as you like. So you're just going to adhere this flap to your page. Once that's done, you're going to adhere the next one to the bottom. So you'll have 2 that look like that. If you want to do a third, you'll do the same thing. So you can have as many consecutive waterfalls as you like. If you find you want to add more waterfall pages to your build-in album, but it's too long, you don't have to push them up against each other. You can go, say, halfway up and adhere them there. So it'll give you another, at least a good 1/4 inch of room to be able to add more. So you're going to go ahead and, instead of bumping them up here, add your adhesive halfway up the flap above it, like so. Then your waterfall is slightly shorter, but you can get more pages in. So something to think about. You also have 4 flaps that measure 6 3/4 by 6 1/4. They have a 1/2 inch flap on the one side. And what you can do is add fold-out pages. Let's bring in our album again and let me show you kind of how that works. So say we want some fold-out pages here. So what you're going to do is you're going to add adhesive to your flap. Let's do it. We'll make it happen. So we're going to put adhesive on our flap. We're going to bring in our album, and I want my flap to go so that it opens this way. So I'm going to kind of put it in place, see how that works, center it from top to bottom, make sure it's on the edge on the left-hand side and not sticking over the edge of the page. Once I remove the adhesive and rub that side down, you still have your pocket on the top, but now you have a flip-out page that adds even more space for decorating. You can add a second flap to create a gatefold, like so. You can add a second page somewhere else in your album, like this. If you like, you can make the flap go top to bottom and have it open this way, or you can adhere it at the bottom and have it open this way. You could even do both. You could add one flap here and add this one at the bottom, like this. And your pocket would fold down and out. Or you could put your flap at the top, like this. And use one of the waterfall pieces to keep it shut. You could put it in the middle like this, and this would keep it from popping open. That might be fun too. The last piece in this collection are 2 pocket pages. And if you notice, they're scored on 3 sides with the top open. They measure 7.125 by 6 inches, and there is a 1/2 inch overlap here to be able to fold. To create your pocket, you're going to cut off that bottom corner where the squares are, like so, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to cut it off so that it doesn't bind when you fold it. You're going to flip it over with the mountain score facing up, fold it on all 3 sides, like so. You're going to adhere your tape on each of these pieces, and you can stop there. You can just add it to your album. You can put it on any of the pages and add it to your album just like that. So if you just want one single pocket, you can decorate it, adhere it on 3 sides, and have an opening at the top. Now say you wanted to do a stacking pocket. That sounds like fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. To create the stacked pocket, we're going to take the next pocket page in your kit. It's going to have 3 score lines. You're going to have your score line to the right, one at the top, one at the bottom, no score lines on the left. You're going to place it in your trimmer, and you're going to cut it at 3.5 inches. Now you'll have 2 pieces, one that has a score line at the top and the bottom, one that has a score line at the top, the bottom, and the side. We're going to take this piece for now. We're going to do the same thing we did last time to create the pocket. we're going to cut that square corner off at a diagonal, just below where the two meet, where the two score lines meet. That's where I'm cutting it on both sides. Basically, it's just creating that pocket so that it doesn't bind when you fold it. We're going to fold each of those pieces. With the remaining piece, you're going to fold on the score lines like this. While you have your piece of paper like this, you're going to take your ruler and you're just going to make a mark at 2.5 inches. So go from the top down, mark 2.5. Mark from the top down and mark 2.5. So now you have these two pieces that you're going to cut in an angle. You're going to cut in just past the score line and then angle. So your score will look like this, your piece will look like this. Let's put it together so it makes a little bit more sense to you. We're going to go ahead and add our adhesive like we did in the past to those three edges. Then we're going to adhere this pocket to the bottom of one of our pages. I'm going to line it up like we did last time, leaving just a little bit of the adhesive exposed so that when I get it where I want it, I can just kind of push it in place and gently remove that one piece. Okay, once you do that, you can unfold your pocket and remove the adhesive and then glue those down. Take the adhesive off of the other two sides and you can just fold it in and roll it up. Okay, so there's a pocket. You could just leave it like that if you choose, but wait, there's more. Next, we're going to put adhesive on these two pieces. We're not going to put any adhesive here. So we have our adhesive. We're going to fold it back. We cut these at an angle for a purpose. If we bring in our pocket page and you slide this piece into the other pocket, like so, it matches up beautifully. You've got one pocket here and a second pocket here. So you've got your adhesive, you're going to go ahead and put your pocket in, line it up. I always make sure it's lined up with the right hand side of the edge, and then I drop the second side so that this edge is always perfect. So now you have a pocket at the top and a pocket at the bottom. How fun would that be to add your cute tags, pictures, journaling, and don't forget, you also have a pocket at the very top. So that's fun too. That concludes the assembly of the build-in album as well as the accessory pack. I hope that you have gotten some fun ideas, you got a little bit of inspiration, and hopefully that's a jump start to building your own album for Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, weddings, you name it, the sky's the limit. Add your favorite paper and make this your own. We can't hardly wait to see what you create. Please be sure to tag us on Instagram at #PHOTOPlayPaper. And thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like, share, and leave a message.